students! Today we are going to discuss one of our most important sensory organs, our eyes. Let's begin by examining the structures of the eye and describing how these structures work together to help you see. Okay, so in order for you to see an object, first, your eye must gather wavelengths of light that are bouncing off of that object. These light waves enter the eye through a clear, curved structure at the front of the eye called the cornea. I'm going to color it in here, so it's labeled on your sheet. The cornea looks almost like a natural contact lens. I've filled it all the way in there with blue. So just like a contact lens is clear and curved and goes over the front of your eye, your cornea is there like a natural contact lens. And so the point of the cornea, I'm going to show you. Let's pretend that this line is a wavelength of light, and this line is a wavelength of light, and this line is a wavelength of light. These wavelengths of lights are bouncing off objects in your environment, and your cornea gathers them and bends them. And it bends them in a really specific way. It bends them so that they go through this hole in the front of the eye. That hole in the front of the eye is the one that you see when you're looking in the mirror. If you look straight in the mirror, you have the colored part of your eye, and then right in the middle it's black. And that black area is actually a hole. That hole is called your pupil. And so the cornea will bend light so that it goes through the pupil. You can underline that so that you remember it. I'll color that in yellow here. Okay, so it's this space right here. The hole is the pupil. Behind the pupil, there is a structure called the lens. Okay, and that's what's sitting right here. I'll color it in green. And just like the cornea, the lens is a clear structure. It's a rigid structure, so we'll see in our dissection that you can actually take out the lens, and it's much like a lens that you would find in a pair of glasses. There we have it there. And it does the same thing, which a pair of glasses does, is what it does is it further bends the light, or another word that we use for this is focuses the light, because all of this light has to get to a specific spot in the back of the eye. Okay, so here's our light. It's being focused through the pupil. The lens will send it towards the back. Okay, so it goes all the way through the middle part of your eye to the tissue that coats the very back edge. I'm going to color in blue. On your sheet it's colored in yellow, so you'll notice that the whole back edge of the eye is coated in a very, very thin tissue. And this is where the light gets sent. This tissue is called, so it's all the way back here. This tissue is called the retina. And the retina is filled with small cells called rod and cone cells. So in dark blue, you can think about this thin layer being dotted with a bunch of cells. And those cells are called rod and cone cells. And those are the cells that are the sensory receptors. These are the ones that we've been trying to get to because they pick up the light. So when we have these wavelengths of light coming through, everything else in the eye is designed to get that light to the back of the eye towards the retina, where the rods and the cones will pick up the light. All right, you will notice that next, the retina, the tissue of the retina is actually connected to the structure that exits out the back of the eye. This structure that exits out the back is called the optic nerve. And so it's important that these rods and cones that are part of the retina are connected to the optic nerve, because the optic nerve is going to take the signals that are triggered in the rods and the cones, and it's going to take those signals to the brain. So you can think of it this way. As the light comes in, if it hits one of these rods or cones, then it'll trigger an electrical impulse, and then that electrical impulse will get sent to the brain. Now, your brain is going to be receiving hundreds of thousands of these electrical signals every moment. And remember, you have two eyes, so you are both of your eyes are sending electrical signals to the brain. Your brain will then coordinate the signals from both eyes and interpret them, figure out what that pattern of electrical impulses means. And then the image, and we've talked about this before, but this is an important point. The image is formed in your mind. You see the object in your mind. It's not your eyes that are doing the seeing. The eyes are just detecting the pattern of light, but it is your mind that forms the image. Okay, so we're done with this for today. We will talk in more detail about the eye. We'll watch a brain pop about it, and we actually have a dissection coming up this week. So this is a good start, and I look forward to continuing our discussion of the eye in class tomorrow. Have a good night, and don't forget to do your Quizmodo.